All right, what up, great people? You know who it is and what it is. I am Mr. Darkeye. You tuned in to the Mista Darkeye Podcast right here on Anchor FM, New Soul Music Radio, the home of daily motivation to trust God and live your dreams. Today, in the building, I got my bro fan brother from another mother sitting on my right. Y'all left. Anthony D Brice, author in the building, man. Best-selling author, I should say.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. How you feeling today, bro?
I feel good, man. I feel good to be here, man.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, man. I think the last conversation we had was, I want to say it was 2 years ago.
At least 2 years ago.
Yeah, it was at least 2 years ago. A lot has happened.
That's one way to put it. That's one way to put it.
Yeah, man. Owing it up with, man. But you're doing great things, man.
I appreciate it, man.
I see you, you're writing a lot of books these days. You're doing a lot of writing, man.
Yeah.
You know, where did it start for you as an author? Like, what inspired you to be an author?
Man, for some reason, I just picked up this love for reading, man. Love for reading and learning. I mean, I always like to learn, but I think once I really got on this personal growth, personal mastery, seeing how much control that I could have over my life once I get the inside right. Once I realized that, man, I really dove deep into it and realized there was so much knowledge out there. That so much of the things that I was trying to do and so many things that I was trying to empower other people to do had already been done. And there was so much knowledge out there for me to consume. So mostly I love to consume so that I can share it. So that's the biggest thing. Right.
So you teaching what was taught.
Absolutely.
That's what you're doing, man.
Absolutely.
That's a responsibility that a lot of us don't realize that we have. When you're taught things, you need to share. You know, you need to put that out there. And a lot of information can be found in books, people. And this is a book right here that my man's latest book is Pour Me to Rich Soul. This is the second installment of this.
Yeah. Yep, second installment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk about it. It says upgrade your mindset to maximize your health, multiply your wealth, and magnify your relationships. That's way around it for us adults, man.
It is.
I think that's pretty much sums us up.
That's it, man. Those three are the most important things that move us and impact our lives. And I wanted to, have something that has a general overview of what I feel like are the most important things that impact our lives first, and then kind of get into the micros, get into the very specifics. So, I mean, this book is about a very personal journey for anybody who picks it up. Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, because I feel like, your health, of course, we talk about that all the time.
Right.
Health is wealth. It sounds cliche, but it's absolutely that, especially these days with all the things that we went through and going through, how important it is to take care of yourself from a physical health, mental health, emotional health, and how all of those things are important. And also, of course, multiplying your wealth, not to feel like, that you shouldn't be making money. And it's not just about making money. It's about, finances on all levels, investments, and, realizing that you have the power to be as wealthy and generate as much as you want to, but more so not making it about yourself, but about leaving a legacy and being able to do that for your community and for your future generations. And of course, magnifying your relationships, man. Just to let people know that it's not just about you having things, and it's not just about, you being able to do things. It's about being able to share those things with the people that you love. I hear a lot of people, and I get a lot of messages about people having a lot of issues with relationships, so, this also, jumps into how they can magnify those and improve those relationships, first starting with yourself and then being able to improve the relationships of the people around us.
Absolutely. And I just recently just been made aware of how important it is to have self-love and, how important that relationship is with yourself. Because if you don't have a healthy relationship with yourself, it's going to be difficult for you to have a healthy relationship with anyone else.
You can't.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So, where does that start as far as like building that self-love and that relationship with yourself, as far as, knowing what that even means? Like where do they start with that?
Well, first, I say you need to figure out what you want. Starting, beginning with the end in mind, like Stephen Covey says, and then just being honest with yourself about where you are. And because now you got a destination, now you got a starting point, and then taking a look at, what things that you need to hold on to and what things you need to let go of. That's a big thing, because so many of us go through our lives and when we're trying to improve it, we're always working on adding things. What can I add to my life to make me better? If I get this money, I'll feel better. If I get this husband, this wife, I'll be happier. But that's not the case. You realize you can make an immediate impact on your life right now by letting go and getting rid of something that's not contributing value to helping you to get to where you want to be. And the other biggest thing, man, is really just figuring out who you are. That I'm all about this identity, knowing exactly who you are, what you're worth, what you're capable of, what your potential is. Because if you know who you are, then nobody else can tell you any different. But if you don't, people can say whatever and you're believing it. And that impacts how you feel about yourself, and in turn impacts what you think you can accomplish and what you can do.
So one of the key things I heard you say towards the end there is you knowing who you are. So when people start putting things on you, you're not just going to accept that because you know who you are. I think that's key, and I think that's a problem that a lot of people are facing right now, because especially in this world of social media, where every time you put something out there about yourself that you're not really sure of, and then people start commenting and sharing their perspective on it, and then you start believing it, and you especially if you feel like you're great, or you feel like you're talented, or you feel like you want to go into a space of entrepreneurship, being a business owner, and you start getting people speak against that, and you're rocky in the area already. So now you just stagger and you just feel like, this is not for me, sis, because this is what everybody's saying. It's not for me, so I'm not going to do it. So I think that's key right there, man. You got to be solid in knowing this is what you want. This is what you want to do. This is who you are. So whenever these people come into your lives and your space and start speaking against that, you're not gonna budge. I think that's key too.
Absolutely.
Man. Yeah, I think that was really key when you said that, because I've been there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I know if I've been there, a lot of other people have been there. So I think it's definitely to have a level of confidence. Definitely a level of confidence.
Absolutely. Yeah. Clarity brings confidence. If you're clear about any aspect and anything that a place where you want to get to, if you're clear about who you are, that's going to bring you confidence. When you're not clear, that's what brings anxiety. That's what makes you nervous. It's just like going into a test that you haven't studied for, that you really don't know anything about. You're going to be nervous because you don't think you could pass it. That's true. You're not going to be confident in doing it. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely.
That's where, that's why people practice and do things over and over again, because it builds more confidence.
So what this self-improvement thing, this personal growth, this self-mastery is about, it's the practice of. It's an everyday thing. It's not a destination. You don't get to that place and everything is all good. Something you're gonna be doing for the rest of your life. It's the practice of.
Absolutely. And let's expound a little bit on magnifying your relationships. Because I've learned it's really important for people to have relationship intelligence and know how to really put people in their place, in a sense, because I've heard this put this way, when people hear that statement, they think in a negative way, but it's more so about you understanding how to deal with people, according to who they are and what they're going to do or not do. Like, in certain types of situations, who to call on and who not to call on.
Absolutely.
So let's expound a little bit on what you mean by magnifying relationships in your life.
Man, I think you made a good point about putting people in their place, because I use that term exactly for that exact reason. And I don't say it in a negative way, but exactly how, like you explained it, about knowing, like, where people are, who they are, what their character is. So, okay, I know I can deal with this person on this level, and I know I can't deal with these people on this level. You know what I'm saying? And as far as magnifying your relationships, man, but like you said, it's so important. We can't do this by ourselves. Right. No matter what it is. As much pride as we take in being able to take care of ourselves and do things ourselves, having that kind of energy and loving energy and those kind of people around you is so important. But even more important, you have to know how to navigate that. Mm-hmm. But like I said before, everything's still going to start with self. You're going to have to be able to magnify the relationship with yourself first, mm-hmm. because you are going to teach people how to treat you. You know what I'm saying? Right. So how you treat yourself is pretty much showing the world how you feel like you deserve to be treated. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So we have to learn how to navigate those things, relationships, be they romantic, be they friendships, they're still as equally important.
Absolutely. And, you know, I've had this conversation with a few different women on how I feel like, for me personally, I feel like it's very important in a romantic relationship to have a foundation of friendship.
Absolutely. 100%.
And, you know, but I've had some women feel like, you know, that's not necessary. If they go in with a mindset of feeling like we're just going to be friends, then that's where they kind of want to keep it. You heard, you know, fellas getting up in the friend zone.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But, you know, I really, truly do feel like that if you don't have that true, real foundation of friendship, then you can't really have a stable, healthy, romantic relationship. Do you agree with that?
100% agree.
Yeah.
100% agree. You know what I'm saying? And that's why that clear communication is really going to come in, to let them know that you're not saying that you just want to be friends, but that the foundation that you're trying to build on has to be a friendship. That's mm-hmm. the only way it's going to last. There's so many people that have jumped into relationships and realize that they've never been friends or aren't friends. People go straight from "I don't know you" to "we're in a relationship." You believe that? All the time. Yeah. And then are surprised when they feel like they don't know who this person is.
Right.
You know, and they usually don't realize that till stuff start happening.
Right.
Because when things start happening, life start happening, you get to see the true person. You get to see who you are in a relationship. Mm-hmm. You get to see who that person is in a relationship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And who you are then pretty much is going to, you know, let you know how things are going to go. Mm-hmm. You know, so I absolutely agree with that.
Yeah, man. You know, and just across the board, you know, in all types of connections and relationships you have with people, you know, because with friendship comes, you know, trust. You know, it comes with great communication, you know, holding, you know, accountability, you know what I mean? So many different layers to real, true friendship. And we use that word just, you know, so loosely. We just call anybody a friend.
Right.
And, you know, I just truly do feel like that's a great foundation for any real connection, you know, that you're going to have with people. Mm-hmm. But overall, it's so difficult for a lot of us to manage these types of relationships and friendships, right? And to even know who we should have around us and who we shouldn't, because we know we hear the conversation about, you know, your circle, who you around is who you're going to become, and we hear this, but we don't really. I don't think we really understand what it means or what it's actually doing to us. So what's your perspective on that? Expound on it from your perspective.
Yeah, you just summed it all up, man. Yeah. I mean, who you're around most of the time has such a huge impact on your life, and a lot of times people don't realize that, you know, because where we come from, you know, it's almost people feel like they have this false loyalty to people no matter what they choose to do with their lives. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so if you go on and you go do something else or do something different, some people may feel like they're left behind. They may feel like you change, and that keeps people from doing what they feel like they're supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that we have to get over, man. Like I always say, you can't take everybody with you. You know, you can go be an example, and hopefully those people catch up and make decisions that help them to get to a better place, or to see why you had to do what you had to do for yourself. Because I mean, that's a selfish thing to feel like, you know, if I'm going to stay around doing nothing, I feel like you should stay around doing nothing as well. And also, you know, it's when you're a person that's not really trying to improve and you're making all these excuses, it's easy not to be around somebody who's doing something different, somebody who's talking about, you know, trying to make their lives better and making hard changes. Because if they're talking about changes, now you're looking at yourself like, man, I don't want to. He talking about changing. He talking about doing stuff that I like doing, even though I know it may not be contributing to my life. Now I feel like I got to do something different. Mm-hmm. That makes me feel bad about me. Now that makes me look in the mirror and have to face a lot of the things that I don't want to face. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's a big reason why people don't like to be around, if you're in that headspace, those people don't like to be around people who are talking about bigger and better and improving and all those different things. So that's my take on it. That's something that we're just gonna have to get over. Mm-hmm. It's not a loyalty thing.
I think we care too much about how other people are going to look at us when we make decisions what's best for us. Mm-hmm. Because I know for me, personally, I often didn't want the people that I loved to look at me differently because I'm doing what's best for me, right. But at the end of the day, I knew that I couldn't allow myself to be cheated out of what I know I deserve just because when I make a decision for me, it's going to, for whatever reason, make somebody else feel a certain type of way about it. And I think that's a space where a lot of us are more concerned about the value of what other people think about us versus the value of what we think about ourselves and what we want for ourselves.
Absolutely.
I think, because the word values came up a few times here. So I think that it's really about what we place our value on. I think that's really what it should be about. What do you place your value on? Because, if you place your value more so on what other people thinking about you and what you should do for you, then that's what you're going to do. And then now you're going to be living your life for other people, and then you're going to be resenting them in the long run. It can be a mess. Because like I said, I done been there personally, man. And I had to start making decisions for myself. And unfortunately, it ended a lot of those relationships. Mm-hmm. So for those individuals who got this word loyalty in their head, like, where do you draw the line? Like, how do you, because some people just look at this thing like, loyalty means I'm gonna be here and with this person no matter what. But that's not really what that means, is it? So how do you understand when to apply it and when to say, okay, this has an expiration date on it?
All right, just know that you can love people and you can love people from a distance. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that you have to feel responsible for that person and their lives, what they do and what they have. And that's what I think happens a lot, especially if we feel like we've achieved a certain level of success in an area. We got, a few more resources, a couple more dollars, and we start to feel like we're responsible for the people around us. We start to feel like we're responsible for their lives, which isn't the case. And as far as the loyalty thing, man, it's like if the things that they're doing for themselves, how they contribute to your life, if those things aren't aligned with your spirit and what you want, what you're about right now, where you're trying to go, then you know that's not for you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the case a lot of the times, but people still stay there and just go through the motions with those people because they feel like they have to. You don't have to. You can still be there for them without having to feel like you have this loyalty where you have to be responsible for them. You know what I'm saying? And of course, you're going to have some people that try to make you feel bad, like, man, you sold out, or you not loyal, you're not holding your people down like you're supposed to. But that whole conversation even isn't about you. It's about them. It's how they feel about themselves.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's my take on it, man. You just have to come to terms with that. And no matter what you do, if you are a person that decides to change and grow and evolve, know that this is going to come along in the territory, regardless. I don't care what kind of people you think you got around you, it's going to happen regardless. As you evolve, as you change, as you do some things differently, as you speak your truth, you're gonna really see that, because everybody's not going to agree with you, and you can't make everybody happy. Just come to terms with that. It just comes with the territory.
Definitely can't make everybody happy, man. And now your other book that you got is called My Reflections, a guided journal for healing, self-discovery, and living on purpose. Man.
Yes, sir.
Living on purpose.
Yes, sir.
That really hit me because that's where I feel like I've definitely evolved to today, where I wake up every day understanding what my purpose is and pursuing that. But at the end of the day, man, I think for me, it's like this is you strategically put this in this order for a reason.
Absolutely.
Because for me, what I see when I see that, it starts with healing.
Absolutely.
And then the healing leads to self-discovery.
Figuring out who you are.
And then you start to begin to live on purpose.
Right, because you know what it is now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm seeing that as I'm looking at this.
Yeah, that's real, man. Everything you said is absolutely on point, man.
Yeah.
And the main reason, the initial reason behind the journal was that in the first edition
did I show that?
of the book,
Yeah,
y'all
see that? There you go.
In the first edition of the book, people said that it brought up a lot of feelings and emotions and thoughts that they've never felt, never thought, and they didn't know what to do with them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, I wanted to make sure that this time around, I helped to give them more guidance to get better results and to understand and to be able to do something productive and effective with those thoughts and feelings. So instead of just putting out a book with a bunch of blank pages, with a lot of journals are just, expressing your thought, which is cool. I wanted to make sure that this had a specific direction and had a specific purpose. And how it flows is pretty much like I was telling you in the beginning. It starts with my vision, and my vision is helping you to create a clear picture of what you want your life to look like. Start with that. It's just like putting the coordinates, you putting the location in the GPS, where you want to go. You know what I'm saying? After that, the next part is called my present. Knowing where you are and being honest where you are. This is probably one of the hardest parts for people, because if you sit there and you take an honest look about who you are right now and where you are in your life, it takes really looking in the mirror and being honest with yourself and facing some things that you don't want to face, or facing some things that you don't even know that's going on, that these things that they bring up. You know what I'm saying? So once you know where you're going, you know where you are, then the next chapter is called my suitcase. My suitcase meaning that you're figuring out what you need to take with you,
right,
and what you need to take out and leave behind,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So yeah, and the next part is my reflections. That's where you're able to take your whatever specific thoughts you have from different parts you read out of the book, and be able to get them out. And at the end, there's a daily journal and self-check-in, just to make sure that you're living on purpose. The dual meaning of living on purpose is, knowing what you're supposed to be doing, but at the same time, living with intention on purpose.
Living with intention on purpose, meaning that you waking up every day strategically knowing exactly what you need to do and doing it, man.